Hi, it's me, Vicky Marie. And I just wanted to talk to you about these developments in the Gilgo Beach case with Heuermann, has been arrested, hasn't he, for these Long Island uh, SCRIL killer. I mean, he's not gone to trial yet, but he is thankfully at least out of circulation. He has been arrested after long, long years of, inquiries about who this Long Island Beach serial killer is. He finally was arrested, wasn't he? Now, I want to talk about him and Shannan Gilbert, who was. I she is really the person who led, in a way, to the apprehension of Rex, because Shannan went missing in very mysterious circumstances. I have done a video on Shannan, and I'll put a link in the description box. It's a very sad story about, just in general, about her and her family and her mom. And it's actually, there is a documentary on Netflix called Lost Girls. Sorry, not a documentary. It's a film or a series, a docu-series, but it's played by actors. Anyway, it's be very interesting for you to see that, if you're because then you can see how it came that Shannan went missing. Shannan Gilbert went missing, and then because of the search for her, because her mother, there wasn't much done initially because Shannan was a call girl. And, it's difficult, certainly years ago it was, to get attention for call girls who went missing. It was almost thought of, it was their own fault. They used to refer to them as the less dead, because if you live a high-risk lifestyle, it's almost like you should just expect to be murdered. But anyway, never mind. Anyway, in searching for Shannan, they found all these other bodies, and they have managed to put a case together to actually, they have found a suspect. They've linked him with DNA. So it's looking promising for when it comes to trial, that there is a case, at least for some of the girls, because there's more to come with this guy. But at the moment, I think he's being charged for 5 murders. But anyway, but not all. There's other bodies there, but they just can't link him to them at the moment. So it's either that, or there's a few people burying bodies in that same area. Anyway, they didn't find Shannan for quite a long time, but they found these other bodies instead. So in that search for Shannan, that's how it all started, really, because before that they didn't know there was a serial killer, full stop. So that was when they first realized it was a serial killer, and then everything else has happened since then. And it's an ongoing story because he's not gone to trial yet. Now, of course, he's pleading not guilty so far. Whether that'll change when it comes to trial or not, we don't know. But it was felt that Shannan herself was not one of his victims. It's very conflicting reports about Shannan. Initially, the police said that just because she was distressed that night, there's some 999, not 999, gosh, what is it in America, 911 calls, where she's very distressed. She says people are trying to kill her. She was running from house to house. Now, whether she was in her right mind herself, we don't know. But the police initially said there wasn't, when they found her body, that she'd gone off into these marshes, got lost, and probably died of natural causes because she couldn't find her way back. But then the family paid for an independent post-mortem, and they said that she was killed by strangulation. So, that again is a little bit in the ether. It needs more examination. And the reason I'm doing this video today is it was originally thought, though, it wasn't to do with Rex Heuermann. But now a connection has been found possible connection. We've got to remember to say that these things are not corroborated yet. But a man, I think there's 4 witnesses that say there's a connection. And what I'm going to read to you today, let me just show you Shannan and Rex. Rex is a massive man. He's a distinctive man. This is Shannan, bless her. One of her sisters is still looking for justice for, unfortunately, her other sister is in prison. She had a lot of mental health issues, and she actually did kill the mother of Shannan in like a psychotic rage. So it's a very sad family, but there is one sister left, and she's fighting for justice for Shannan. So this was Shannan, I think she was 22 years old. This is Rex. He's like an estate agent, not an estate, architect. This is him in his sort of business suit and everything. This is his mugshot. He's a massive guy, big in all ways, you know, tall, big. So of course there's all sorts of rumours coming out now, or all sorts of things being said about him and his lifestyle with his wife. And anyway, one thing I think we can say that we do know for sure is Rex was using escorts and sex workers. Now, whether he ever did bump into Shannan or not, that's what we don't know for certain. So, but of course, since the case has all come to light and Rex's face has been on the news and Shannan's face has been on the news, a couple of people have come forward to say that they did see them together, or they believe that they saw them together. And I'm going to read you the deposition or the statement from a witness who has made a sworn statement to that effect. And this is it. This is the deposition. So this is Attorney John Ray has come forward. He represents Shannan Gilbert's estate, and he claims 4 new witnesses have come forward with information about Rex Heuermann. And this is the first affidavit from the first. It's been redacted slightly, but basically, don't know if I can see it any bigger. No. Okay, so we're going to look at it. I'm going to read it out to you. So I am such and such years old. My date of birth is such and such. I reside in. So his personal details are redacted. I once lived in Suffolk County, New York. I am giving this affidavit of my own free will. Just let me make sure it's on there. I don't know if you can read it, but anyway, I'm reading it out to you. I'm giving this affidavit of my own free will. I am not under duress, nor coercion, nor the undue influence of anyone. I contacted John Ray by telephone on September the 15th, 2023. I did so because I am aware that John Ray has been representing the family of Shannan Gilbert. I trust him. I had seen him on TV. I was aware that John Ray has drafted the words in this. I am aware that John Ray has drafted the words in this affidavit. He has done so with my consent and at my direction after an extensive conversation I had with John Ray regarding that which is contained in this affidavit. The words being accurate, the words herein accurately reflect my knowledge and information. As my own words. So in or about October 2009, I was a taxi driver in Suffolk County, New York. I was employed as a taxi driver by Colonial and other companies at the time. I believe my employer was located in Sayville, New York. Hang on. My employer's dispatcher directed me at that time to drive to a little road off of Ocean sorry, just Ocean Avenue to pick up a customer. This place was a bar, and from exit, not far from exit 59 of the Long Island Expressway, I was to have picked up a person named Matt. When I arrived at the bar, I observed an extraordinary large man wearing an, what's that? Something, I can't see that word, fatigue jacket, an army-like fatigue jacket, crouching down on a very small street next to the bar where I had pulled up. He rose so that I observed his immense size. He approached my cab. He appeared to be wearing jeans and a white t-shirt. His hair was more or less light-coloured, but not blonde. He was a white man. Now, the thing is, Rex does not have light-coloured hair, but anyway, I had been told by my dispatcher the place of destination for this customer, but I cannot recall. I can no longer recall it. This large man approached my taxi to what? To enter it. His words seemed. His words seemed. Can't read that. He entered into the rear of my taxi. He sat on the river seat. On the edge of the seat, the rear seat, on the edge of the seat and in the middle of it. He said to me words to the effect, we're going for a long ride in the woods, and indicated we had to pick up a girl who was in a house across from the street from the bar. My taxi was stopped very close to the house in a narrow side street. I could see a white girl by the window in the house. I believe the window in the house where I saw the girl was open. I told the large man I could not take him on the trip that he had indicated. I had to clear it with my dispatcher. He argued with me. He said words to the effect, "Oh, you've been a smart ass." As we argued, he said to me that he wanted to kill me if I would just give him reason to do so. He insisted he wanted to kill me. I heard him click a gun. While this occurred, I could hear my dispatcher yelling words to the effect that, "You get a gun on my driver, I see you, I got a call in to someone." I said words to the effect, "I don't even know you." The large man had a sort of identification chain hanging on him, but I could not see the full ID. I asked him if he was a cop. He said he was a cop. When I asked him where he was a cop, he replied, "Brooklyn." I told the large man just to get out of my car and I would not press charges. Then a man, who I subsequently took to be the girl's boyfriend, as told to me later by the dispatcher, pulled into the house's driveway. I turned off the car. I said that I was not moving, that I was driving them. I was not driving from this spot. I told him that he would have the keys. He would have the keys and take the car, that he could have my money. I asked him, would he speak to his mother that way? He replied with intense anger, "My mother is dead." My dispatcher said to him to just walk away. The large man stepped out of the car. He leaned into the front passenger window. The dispatcher told me that the large man asked the boyfriend and girl for a ride, to which one of them replied words to the effect, "No, the cops are on the way." The large man went into a nearby wooded area and shot his gun off 2 times, according to the dispatcher. I had already started the car and I had already driven down from the street where the large man did whatever the dispatcher told me that he did. As I drove down the street, the Suffolk County police officer in a white and blue police car approached from the other direction with no headlights nor any siren. The officer had dark hair, appeared to be in his 30s in age. I told the police officer that the large man had pulled a gun. The officer said that he was responding to a call. The dispatcher had called in and a girl had also called him. I said to him words to the effect, "He's one of yours, he's had a bad night, he pulled a gun." The officer's vehicle then creeped down the street past my car. I drove away to other calls. I told my family members about this incident, including my nephew, who was a police officer, and I told my sister of the event described above. I also told other drivers of the event. Recently, I saw Rex Heuermann on TV. He was the large man I encountered in the incident described above. And he was the large man I saw in the incident I described below. I was afraid of him. I now know him to be Rex Heuermann. Then he goes on to talk about another incident which preceded that one by several weeks. And he says he was dispatched to pick up a passenger at the Sayville Motel Lodge on the highway. Sorry, it keeps jumping up for some reason. So I was told by my dispatcher that the prospective passenger had asked for a female driver and that she had locked herself in a bathroom in a room at the hotel, a motel. I drove in behind the motel. I saw a dark, apparently greenish grey SUV on a side street near the hotel. I drove into the parking lot to the left. I looked for the correct room number. When I located it, I blew my car's horn and flashed the lights at the room. I did these things on and off for 8 minutes. From 7 to 8 minutes, no one came out of the room. Then a very large man came out. He appeared to have a bit of a belly. He ran to the side street. He tried to block his face with his arms. Sorry, it keeps jumping up for some reason. He tried to, and then a girl ran out. She was petite. She was crying and shaking. She entered my taxi in the rear right seat. She said we had to get away from there. I noticed one of her eyes had something defective about it, appeared to droop. Her hair was pulled back neatly like a ballerina would have done. She wore jeans and a shirt. She was not dressed provocatively. She said that she was glad she had gotten me as a driver. The girl told me that she met the large man on Craigslist. He befriended her. She said that he'd said that he would take care of her mum and her sisters and her boyfriend. And she did have all that. She had a mum, she had 2 sisters, and she had a boyfriend. She said that he placed a thick white envelope on the nightstand in the room. And the envelope was filled with cut up paper. All right, okay, sorry, I've missed a bit there. Befriended. She said that he told her that whatever happens tonight, this envelope was for her and her family. But she said that she then saw a rage in his face. She said that when he went to the bathroom, she looked in the envelope. It was filled with cut up paper. She said he shook her and he was aggressive. She said that he got aggressive, so she ran into the bathroom, locked herself in, and he banged on the door. The girl never told me her name. I believe the incident took place when it was still a little warm outside. The girl wore a little light jacket, a dark coat, that won't be coat, but she had a pocketbook which was not large. She said that they were always calling her out to Long Island. She said she did not want to come out to Long Island. She told me about her family, including her sisters and her mother. She said that as her mother, I would not be able to understand. Her mother, I would not be able to understand her situation with her mother. Most of our conversation took place at the Sayville Motor Lodge, at the train station. She had a long wait to take the 2 a.m. train to New York City. She had a distinctive voice. She was articulate. She paid for the ride and tipped me $5. She then sat with another taxi driver in his car waiting for the train because I had to pick up other customers. I saw her on TV where she was identified as Shannan Gilbert. I am certain this girl was Shannan Gilbert. I recognised her unusual eye droop and her voice. Her story, she told me of her family, matched the family of Shannan Gilbert. Rex Heuermann appeared to be the very big man I saw coming out of the motel room I mentioned in my affidavit. I recognised Shannan Gilbert. I told my dispatcher of this incident. I also told the female manager at the Sayville Lodge of this incident. The manager appeared to be a native of India. I told other taxi drivers of this incident. The dispatcher had the telephone number of the large man. I called the police tip line when Rex Heuermann was arrested. I spoke with a young woman and told her the basic facts which I knew. I spoke twice with the tip line that day. I have never received a return call. So that's his sworn affidavit. So just to show that there's another couple of witnesses, I think. So just interesting. Is there a connection? Because it's always been thought whatever happened to Shannan Gilbert was not connected with the other girls that were murdered. But of course, this is a case in progress. It's a case in progress. There's going to be lots of information coming out, but I just thought I'd let you know about that. It just seemed like, it's so, it's all so close by, sometimes you just think, oh, please don't let there be another killer in that area. It'd be better if it was Rex, because it's just one person. At least it's horrible to think that maybe there's somebody else still out there even. So, yeah, let me know what you think, as always, in comments. Take care of yourselves. And until, thank you for subscribing, for liking. Thank you for those of you who have joined my channel who are members. Thank you so much. Thanks to those of you who sent me a super or bought me a Ko-fi or PayPal'd me. Thank you for any way you support my channel. Even my trolls. Okay, bye. Take care, and may your God always go with you.